thank you for letting me on your boat and showing me around a little bit. Kind of safe to say you know this lake pretty well?
We've traveled this lake quite a bit over the course of our lifetime, you know, because it's kind of what you do here. This is your road system. This is how you get around all the different communities.
Like Loch Ness, Lake Iliamna is exceptionally deep, and what lies beneath the surface is largely unexplored.
If there's anywhere a lake monster can lie hidden in the depths, it's here.
But for Cliff, comparisons with Loch Ness go deeper than you might think.
All throughout British Columbia and Alaska, there are literally hundreds of lakes that have reported lake monsters living in them. And what I find interesting about that is that the latitude is very similar to that of Scotland, where the Loch Ness Monster is.
Similarities of climate and water temperature may partially account for this. And in these colder parts, it's easier for creatures to remain hidden, as there's more wilderness and fewer people. But there are times when something strange is spotted, even in a populated area. In 2016, right in the middle of the triangle, what looks like a giant serpent rose from the icy depths. In the Alaska Triangle, it's not inconceivable that strange, unknown creatures could be hiding in the forests or lurking in its waters. Even large new animals are still being discovered. In June 2016, this 24-foot whale washed up in Alaska and was found to be an entirely new species. Now, journalist and researcher Andrew Goff has pinpointed the Alaska Triangle as being ripe for new discoveries of river and lake creatures.
It's really a perfect storm, a remote location with huge bodies of water. It's full of species that we've yet to identify or even begun to understand. So the natural reaction is to call them monsters. You can understand that, but really they're just new species, and they probably have been here even longer than we have. It's the ideal spot for species to go unnoticed for hundreds of years.
In November 2016, there was a sighting that created an online storm. This video appeared, linked to the Alaska Bureau of Land Management. Within days, it racked up over 1 million views. The location? The Chena River, Fairbanks, right in the middle of the Alaska Triangle, where government worker and keen photographer Craig McCaw happens to be based. He was out on a routine job inspecting the river from this bridge.
I was walking out on the bridge that you can see behind me there and taking some photos of ice beginning to form. This is in late October, which is early winter in Fairbanks, and took out my camera, pointed it this direction, and my attention was caught by movement in the river right beneath me. I looked down in the water and I did a total stop.
When Craig looked down, he saw something extraordinary, so he got out his phone and took this video. Right below him was what looked like a giant serpent-like ice monster, strong enough to be swimming upstream in the fast-flowing current.
So I'm looking at it now, right in the river, right over there. It's a little strange to see this thing swirling back and forth in the river. It's got a rough texture. You can see that it has ice on it, and a lot of the rest of it's obscured by the murky water.
Close analysis of the video puts this strange creature at about 20 feet long, but that's just the visible part. There's no known animal in this river with the size anything like that.
It sent a shiver down my spine. I'd never seen anything like that.
Is this an unknown species or a relic from prehistory? It's certainly true that prehistoric creatures do exist in these waters. These blood-sucking fish, known as lampreys, were around 200 million years before the dinosaurs. And they can still be found in Alaska, even here in the middle of Fairbanks. In fact, in June 2015, bizarrely, they began falling onto the streets of the city.
Fish literally started raining from the sky. How on earth does that happen?
In Cardiff in the United Kingdom, Dr. Rhys Jones is a senior lecturer in biosciences and an environmental researcher.
When I say fish, I mean fish like this one here. This is a lamprey. Superficially, looks a little bit like an eel, but actually, if I turn it around, have a look at the face on that.
These are sharp-toothed, foot-long, blood-sucking eel-like fishes. These are vampire fishes that attach themselves to other animals and suck their blood. Now, they're rarely seen, let alone caught, but here they are, falling from the sky miles from any river. How can that be? It's hard to imagine what these ordinary people would have thought. They must have been terrified, mystified, and utterly freaked out.
How the lamprey came to be falling from the sky has never been established. But could the serpent-like ice creature be a kind of giant prehistoric blood-sucking fish?
When I started filming this object in the river, I didn't really know, well, I still don't know what it was. It moved like a giant fish, I have to say that. The way it undulated in the current and it kind of held its place. Generally speaking, what's in the Chena River is some species of freshwater fish, like Arctic grayling, northern pike, burbot. There's some mammals that pass through the river or beaver that live in and around the river, but I can't think of anything that's more than 3 or 4 feet long, and what I saw was much, much larger than that. Nature still provides these mysteries from time to time that force you to stop and think, what am I looking at? How can I explain this?